people skills, which frankly I think is lacking these days. Um, you need soft people skills. You need to be able to comfort people in tense, tough situations. You need to be able to encourage them when they're feeling despondent, especially when it looks like they're not going to make a great witness, and you need them to be a great witness. You need to encourage them and show them the way through. It's not just explaining the law to people. It's not just getting them results in court. I mean, they're the ones in the hot seat generally, and so you really want to help them feel like they're not alone. And so that's a skill that can be applied in all areas of life.
I think, first of all, what I've learned and what I continue to learn is the various things that are available to folks in the community that I can share. First of all, in my own community, for example, in my own church, where there are a variety of people who need various services who don't even know that MVLS is available. I have been able to have a presentation from MVLS at my law firm, and several people in my office have signed up to assist. So I think learning that this access is here and that the staff and the leadership here are so committed to making sure that these programs continue in an uninterrupted fashion to offer support to individuals in the community.
Well, generally, just understanding how the estate process works was totally new to me. Although I had been in a personal representative for a client, I never had done it start to scratch. And I'm still learning the things that can either go wrong or go right in an estate planning, in probating an estate, and appreciate why one might want to do, how long it takes to go through probate, and why even people with MVLS would want to avoid probate if they can.
One skill that I have continued to use is just understanding that you sometimes have to meet clients where they're at. A lot of our clients have a lot of barriers to accessing services, accessing, their rights. And so understanding that and thinking of creative ways to help work around that so they can get their legal representation has been, I think, an important skill that I've picked up more recently.
What I have been able to do, something I really learned is in my own personal practice is, okay, how can I save my clients money by being more focused, being more pointed in what I'm doing. And it helped me to really think through this, because I want to save, that's my perspective. I want to save my clients money, but I want to do the best for them. Okay. Litigation is not cheap, but I really use this whole structured MVLS. Okay, you have a cap, but you want to give the client a service. I actually have found a way that I thought was very helpful to me, even in my personal practice.
MVLS, way back when, I don't know if you still do, you might, but when I first started working with MVLS, they strongly urged us to take a mediation course, right? And, it wasn't something that I was really wedded to in my practice. So I was like, okay, well, I'll take the mediation course. And actually, that has helped, because it helps me understand my client. It helps me understand what the true issues are, because sometimes what the clients say that they need, there's really an underlying issue there. And the skills that I learned from being a mediator helps me get to this is the why, and this is why it's important for them.
I honestly didn't expect the level of independence that volunteer attorneys have. I think my initial impression, for better or for worse, for MVLS was that like you're kind of like paired with an MVLS attorney, and they kind of handle the case, and you're like running second chair, sort of speak. And it's just not like that at all. Like you get the case and you run the case from start to finish, which was really scary for me at first. I took a case like my second year out of law school. It was a family law case because my wife at the time was working in family law, so I was counting on her to kind of help me through it. And even she was busy, so even she really didn't do a whole lot for me. But it was very eye-opening and independent. I had to learn on the job, so to speak, as to how to get this case done. And so that was new for me. MVLS gives its volunteers, attorneys, a lot of independence, but help at the same time. So I was able to ask for help, but I had to know what to ask for, and eventually I did, and eventually I asked.
I guess the thing that really stood out always was how many people had significant legal problems that they didn't have a way to solve, and so I guess the volume of volunteers that are needed was always the thing that stuck out to me. I really didn't expect that the need would be so great, and that stands out.
Yeah, I think learning about the barriers to justice and learning about how a lot of our everyday laws that we take for granted, like I said, like having a driver's license, like being able to pay for a parking ticket or pay for parking, can become huge barriers to members of our community, and that, we really need to take a harder look at those things. And that was something that when I first started working for MVLS, I certainly did not expect to learn about. And that's been, really interesting and really timely, and, something that I'm really proud to be part of when I volunteer for MVLS.
One thing that I learned about MVLS that I didn't expect, I didn't realize just the tremendous need for these services. And also because of that, how it's grown so much. There's so many passionate staff members that work here, but then the volunteers and everything that they pour into the cases and working with the clients is something that I didn't completely grasp until becoming connected and volunteering with this tremendous organization.
One thing that I've learned as an MVLS volunteer that I didn't expect is the wide array of the types of cases that MVLS matches its volunteers, attorneys with to provide legal services to members of our community. And so for someone like me that was interested in doing work outside of my typical practice area, it is a great opportunity to review the MVLS portal, be able to scroll through and see what sort of cases are available, and then reach out and express interest about those cases. And in certain cases where I don't have a lot of experience, have the opportunity to ask MVLS for a mentor or someone that can guide me through the process, and they're always willing to do that.
There is an entire network of attorneys who are like-minded, who strive for the advancement of civility, and who see this work not as a means to an end, but who see this work as really changing people's lives for the better. And that for me is something about volunteering with MVLS that I did not anticipate being surrounded by. I spoke about this earlier, that there's a network of very seasoned practitioners, but that's a little different than what I'm saying here. What I'm saying here is that I find that this space, MVLS, is full of practitioners who care deeply about their clients, about the outcome of their cases, and about the trajectory of the people they serve. And I just did not anticipate that. I don't know what I expected, but I did not expect that, because it's very heartwarming to be surrounded by people who share your same ideology, who share your same passion, your same zealousness for advocating for people in the legal space. And so I did not anticipate that, but I'm very grateful